Joining me now are two teachers, Mary Lou Carmack from Eagleview Elementary and Michelle Allspaw from the Mount Vernon High School. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm so glad you're here because you are going to share with our viewing audience a very special program that really only about 300 or 400 teachers have participated in here in Fairfax County. It's becoming a nationally board certified teacher. So Mary Lou, let me start with you. What does it mean to be a nationally board certified teacher?
National board certified teachers choose to be assessed by their peers, and they go through a series of 10 assessments that includes 4 portfolio entries that explains what they do in the classroom, how they do it, why they do it, how it impacts student learning, and who they share it with. It's a truly rigorous process. It can take from 1 to 3 years to accomplish this particular certification.
And Michelle, why did you choose to do this torturous process, which I understand it's long and involved and takes a lot of effort?
I think when I heard about it and that it was an assessment by your peers, that piqued my interest, because when you first get your certification as a teacher, it's more a test of your knowledge. It's a test of, do you understand this concept? You have a general practicum and student teaching of how to, but the understanding is that you're an amateur, that you're learning, and the curve of the requirement is quite generous. And so I was very curious to see, measured against seasoned, qualified, well-recognized teachers, how would I measure up, and do my practices align with the best practices that are recognized across the country. And I was just curious.
Yeah. And so Mary Lou, how have you become a better teacher as a result?
I think I've become a more reflective teacher in that each time I work with students, I go back and I analyze and I think about, how did I assess them formally and informally, and did it work, and who got it and who didn't, and what am I going to do about that? What's my next step? And I think that in doing that, you start to think about what's really working in your classroom, and then you go and you share that with your professional learning community within your school. And if it's not working, you have to stop and think, well, who can I get to help me? Do I need to depend on the student? Do I need to work with that relationship with them? Am I working with the teachers? Am I working with the parents in order to get everybody on board to help this child really get the skills that they need to be successful in life?
Michelle, how has it helped you become a better teacher?
I would definitely agree with Mary's response, but especially it was my first exposure to looking at data, because as an English teacher, you have these big ideas and themes and motifs, and so your mastery as a teacher of understanding that student's concept was very ambiguous and very fluid. And National Board was the first experience that I had to quantify along a very specific time period that this student had met this specific skill, and I could prove it because he had done this activity and he had done a score of a 3 out of 4. It was a very measurable notion of student success that I wasn't used to, and still impacts me today as I look at my students. I look more for the proof of their knowledge rather than the very well-informed teacher instinct, but I think parents and students really want to know, why is this an A or a B, and what's the difference between a B and a C paper? And typically with an English teacher, that answer is a very fluid one. And now, as with my experience with the reflection, I can say, this is the skill that's expected at C level, and your student has met these requirements, but not these ones. And so my understanding of how to assess is a lot more specific.
And Mary Lou, you did touch on working with other teachers in your building about and kind of spreading that knowledge and wealth of information. Tell me, how does that work?
Well, research has proven that when your school has national board teachers working with the other teachers within the school, your school is more successful overall. You not only share what you learn, but you share what doesn't work and how you problem solve together. in order to help the students achieve success. It's all about differentiation within the classroom and sharing differentiation with other teachers.
Very good.
So that's important to all of us as educators, and that's what the best teachers do. And you want your child to have that type of teacher.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it encouraged you to have that community, because when I was in this, it was this monthly support that you went to if you were seeking National Board Certification, and I was with a team of other English teachers who were aspiring toward National Board Certification, and we would talk about things that we were trying to do for the portfolio and things that didn't work and things that did, and that was my first experience of, let's try this activity, I'll try it too, see if it works. And now I'm in my IB team with 11 and 12, and we're complete lockstep. So we duke it out in terms of the activities that we would like to present for the table, and all of us sort of put in our piece, but we do the exact same handouts and we do the exact same assessments at the exact same time. And I think that National Board prepared me for that mentality of this consortium of ideas, rather than you and I will have this conversation, but I'm going to do what I want to do in my own little classroom, that you can't, because you have these 4 portfolios that you have specific requirements for within that.
Right. I'd like to add that Fairfax County does support its teachers who are seeking National Board candidacy through ongoing courses through the Office of Professional Development. So you can look in the catalog and come to information sessions about the National Board process, and they'll help you in your journey.
Well, thank you both for being here and for sharing your information and your experience with this. This has been great.
Thank you.